Man, if you are a real NASCAR fan like me, someone who watches every lap every weekend, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. This channel is just getting started. We are pushing toward 1,000 subscribers, and it is all about real talk from fans who actually live this sport. All right, now let's break this down. We are talking about Shane van Gisbergen, and the biggest question surrounding him since day one in NASCAR has always been simple. Can he actually figure out oval racing? Coming from a background where he dominated road courses, nobody doubted his talent. But NASCAR ovals are a completely different world. Traffic, tire management, long green flag runs, it is a grind. And early on, you could tell he was still trying to put it all together. But over the past few weeks, especially at tracks like Martinsville Speedway, we have started to see something very real. Not hype, not luck, progress, and real measurable progress. We are talking about a driver who is now running comfortably inside the top portion of the field, not just for a few laps, but sustaining that pace. His long run speed has improved in a way that you cannot fake. And maybe most importantly, his tire management is starting to look like someone who actually understands oval racing. That is huge because early on, that was one of the biggest gaps in his game. Burning up tires, struggling to maintain pace deep into runs. Now, he is controlling it. He is thinking ahead. And that is the key difference we are seeing right now. He is not reacting anymore. He is anticipating. That is the moment where a driver stops being a rookie and starts becoming a real competitor. And if you talk to people around the garage, they will tell you the same thing. Oval racing is not just about speed. It is about rhythm, patience, and discipline. And SVG is starting to understand that. He is learning how to save his tires early so he can attack later. He is adjusting his line as the track evolves. He is staying competitive deep into long green flag runs where races are decided. These are the secrets of NASCAR ovals, and he is unlocking them. Now, does that mean everything has been perfect? Not at all. Take Bristol Motor Speedway, one of the most demanding short tracks on the schedule. That race did not go his way. He got caught up in an accident, and the result looks bad on paper. But if you watch the race, you know that does not tell the full story. Because the real question is, where does Shane van Gisbergen and finish if that incident does not happen? Based on his recent form, there's a strong argument that Bristol could have been another step forward. So instead of calling it a setback, it is more accurate to call it part of the learning curve, because Bristol exposes everything, especially for a driver still adapting to the chaos of tight oval racing. Now step back and look at the bigger picture. This is where it gets serious. SVG is no longer a lost rookie on ovals. He is evolving, and he is doing it fast. And that should have the rest of the garage paying attention. Because while all of this is happening, while he is still refining his oval racecraft, one thing has not changed. On road courses, he is already a problem. So now imagine this version of Shane van Gisbergen, from the one who is starting to understand tire wear, race rhythm, and traffic management, combined with the road course dominance we already know he has. That is not a specialist anymore. That is a complete driver in the making. And if he fully puts it all together on ovals, NASCAR might be dealing with a driver that the rest of the field will not be able to catch up to in time. And that is what makes this moment so fascinating as fans, because we are not just seeing improvement. We are watching a transformation happen in real time. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Shane van Gisbergen is figuring out ovals faster than expected, or do you think he still has a long way to go? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk about it. Honestly, my take on this is simple. Shane van Gisbergen is learning faster than most people expected, and that should make a lot of drivers nervous, because usually when someone comes into NASCAR struggling on ovals, it takes a long time to figure it out. Sometimes they never fully do, but what we are seeing right now does not look like that kind of situation. This looks like a driver who is actively figuring things out race by race. And the scary part is, he does not need to be perfect on ovals to be dangerous. If he becomes just consistently good on them while staying elite on road courses, that already puts him in a position to win races and fight for big moments in the season. So yeah, if I am another driver in that garage, I am definitely paying attention right now, because this is exactly how a future contender starts to take shape. And that is exactly why this moment matters more than people think, because we have seen this pattern before in NASCAR. A driver comes in with one clear strength. Everyone labels them as a specialist, and then little by little, they start removing the weaknesses. At first, nobody overreacts. Then suddenly, it is too late. That is the vibe I am starting to get with Shane van Gisbergen right now. He is not out there dominating ovals yet. Let's be real about that. But he does not look lost anymore, and that is a massive shift. He looks more comfortable, more calculated, and way more aware of what the race is asking from him. And once a driver reaches that stage, the jump from good to very good can happen fast. Now imagine this. He keeps improving on short tracks like Martinsville Speedway, cleans up races at places like Bristol Motor Speedway, and continues doing what he already does on road courses. That is a playoff level driver, and not just making the playoffs. I am talking about someone who can actually show up and disrupt the whole picture, because NASCAR is all about momentum. Confidence builds, results start stacking, and suddenly, a guy who is still learning becomes someone nobody wants to race against late in a run. That is where this could be heading. So yeah, we are still early in this story. There's a lot left to prove, but if you are watching closely, you can see the foundation being built right now, and those are the stories that usually turn into something big later in the season. So keep your eye on this, because it might not stay under the radar for much longer. And if you enjoy real NASCAR conversations like this, no filter, just fans talking racing, make sure to like the video and subscribe to NASCAR Nation. We are a new channel. We are pushing toward 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean a lot to have you with us. So let's really wrap this up the right way. What we are seeing right now with Shane van Gisbergen is not just small improvement. This is a clear shift in his trajectory inside NASCAR. A few weeks ago, the conversation was about whether he could survive on ovals. Now, the conversation is starting to change into how fast he's actually figuring them out. At places like Martinsville Speedway, he is not just hanging on anymore. He is running competitive laps, managing long runs, and showing that he understands how these races really unfold. That means tire conservation, though positioning in traffic, and making smart decisions over the course of a full race, not just a few good moments. And even when things do not go his way, like what happened at Bristol Motor Speedway, it does not erase the progress. If anything, it highlights how tough this learning process really is. Bristol is chaotic, unforgiving, and it tests even the most experienced drivers. The fact that we are even questioning where he could have finished shows how much he has already improved. That is the key point here. He is learning the deeper side of oval racing, not just speed, but patience, rhythm, and race management. Those are the things that separate good drivers from great ones in NASCAR. And when you combine that with what we already know he can do on road courses, that is where this becomes a real story to watch. Because if Shane van Gisbergen continues on this path, NASCAR is not just gaining a solid driver, it is gaining someone who could become a serious threat across every type of track on the schedule. And that changes everything. It changes how teams prepare, it changes how drivers race around him, and it changes expectations for what his future could look like in this sport. So, the summary is simple. He is adapting, he is improving fast, and he is getting closer to becoming a complete NASCAR driver. And that is exactly why this moment matters, because we might be watching the early stages of something that turns into a much bigger story later in the season. And honestly, I am really looking forward to seeing how far this can go, because if this growth continues, the rest of the field might have a serious problem on their hands very soon. Sync to video time.